Let's just start with the fact that it's been 8 years since that fateful evening. It's something that I think hangs over your family's head. How are you? How have the past 8 years been?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm a happy person. I'm happy at home. Family's great. And obviously, we have this cloud hanging over us. And I want people to understand that I'm not here to speak ill of anyone. I'm not here to protect anyone. But I'm just here to raise my concerns on the case, of course, and also shine the light on the things that were happening behind the scenes that I feel people should know about, or the country must know about, that were never spoken about, you know. So I'm just going to take you back to the first day Sipalama statements, because all along, you know, obviously wanting them to find these perpetrators, find these suspects. But, oh yes, Sahamba Gengelanga Lokala in the morning, we were called to give our statements in the morning. I was one of the first people that gave her statement. Right after that, we were asked to go to some room to finish the illustration and nani of the suspects, of the people we saw that came into the house. We did that as well, and our phones were taken from us. Investigate nani. And then they brought them back, I think, a day later, if I'm not mistaken. And then leading, I think, a couple of months down the line, Kwabanento social media that ATA Ulongwe was the one to pull the trigger. Everybody saying that. And then eventually Longwe and myself were called. I remember we were at Longwe's grandmother's house. They came in the morning to come and fetch us. Simply because we want to help in any way that we can. So we were taken to Pretoria Police Station, SCBD. I don't know if you know it. And then got there, we were put in different rooms, interrogated. We were not questioned. There's a difference between questioning a person, asking a question for understanding, and interrogating a person. So we were interrogated no longer, him on the other room, me on the other room. And then same time, our phones were taken again. I don't know what they were hoping to find, but Ibona Bangas jail. Right after that, we were sent back home, Sahlala Salinda. And then came another day where we were asked now to come and give additional statements. I remember that day, it was 2018, and I just released my album, so somewhere in February. So I left Ishute Benyenza in the morning with the kids in my pajamas, because it's Funuk Caesar. I went straight from the shoot to the police station at Fort Loras this time. And we got there around about 2 p.m. And from there onwards, we stayed up until 9. And for me, for umuntu ozo nigezage additional statement simply means whatever information that we feel was left out. Yabo? We are not starting from over. Even original statements did not take that long. But we were all put together in different rooms. I was in my own room with about 5 to 6 officers, one lady, the rest was male. And I was asked questions. Whoever that felt like wanted to ask question would ask that question. And we kept on, I kept on repeating the same thing over and over, and it was tiring. We couldn't even go to the bathroom, you know? And later gave us about, okay guys, you guys can go. So so we went. I remember at some point my voice was tired, and I had a show the following day. And then from there onwards, let me just check again. Oh, and then we were called for a role play. You guys must be taken back to the scene. Everyone in the house? Well, that day, I remember it was me and my sister and my mother. The others we did not see. As no bafige before Tina or bafige after Tina, you know. But that day was myself, my mother, and my sister Kelly. So we waited at my Piri's house because we were no longer staying at that house and there was no one there. So while we were waiting that side, they had people, the characters that we had to, you know, ushukuthi okay, lo ngimbona as maybe Usenzo, lo ngimbona maybe as Ulongwe, or lo ngimbona as the perpetrator. So they even had props just to make everything make sense. So we went in one by one, came back. Hey man, I won't lie to you, it was the toughest time. Just give me a moment. Yeah, it was a rough time. And we were done. And then we went back home and then we waited. And then obviously social media is happening, papers are writing, TV's talking, and still nothing on those people. And then again, I think about, I don't know how many years later, we were called for a lie detector test.
There was a lie detector test?
There was a lie detector test. Kuleo lie detector test, they fetched us in the morning. We went, in fact, Paslanda Ama 1-1. You're not supposed to see each other, or you're not supposed to speak to each other, or whatever, I don't know. Which was also one of the things that made me really concerned.
Yeah. Do you remember maybe how long after that they called you for these lie detectors?
Get the credit card that rewards you with dynamic interest rates that you control when you manage your money.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was 2018 or 17, somewhere there. Yeah, somewhere there. And then we were called for those lie detector tests. We went. In Kumbula, there was some dude, tall dude, intimidating looking kind of dude, who was asking questions, and obviously they had those things that they put on you and you ask questions. And nothing came of it. Even no one would come back and say, we passed lie detector test, or we failed so or whatever. So I assumed, okay, since no one is saying anything, we pass lie detector test, because if isn't it? Right. So went back home and we waited on the police. But I guess it's one thing I also want you to understand is that anginailo degree anglona futhi poise, you know. But looking at this whole situation, makuthiwa khona umuntu oshonile endlini and umyeni kamuntu or boyfriend yomuntu, the first suspect would be obviously maybe the girlfriend or the wife. Ne? And in all of this, thina silandiwe for lie detector test, thina senzeni senzwani senzani, but no one has ever looked at uMandisa. No one. Thina wethu amafoni ayathathwa. Mandisa ifoni ayithathwa ngani? uMandisa ka-investigatewa ngani? Not so long ago, Magasenzo said on national television ukuthi she tried by all means to make sure ukuthi umshado kaKelly noSenzo does not happen, or amalobolo does not happen. Wahamba wayefuna umuntu wesichitho. So my question is, kuleyo Senzo leso, to what lengths did she go to make sure this does not happen? Is it even possible that maybe yena no malokazana wakhe baletha abantu, not necessarily to target uSenzo, but to target uKelly, to make sure that this does not happen? And also, one of my other concerns is that the police are just fishing in one pond. Why can't we look at other avenues? Because sina 8 years manje siqulana naleli licala, but wonke umuntu ubheke in one direction. And akuphumi answer kulo direction esibheke kuyo. Why can't we look at other people, look at other possible or possibilities?
Talk about the second docket, where you and your sister and everyone in the house are suspects. When did you learn of the second docket?